back to work. And we know COVID-19 has really firmly established itself as probably one of the most, or if not the most, disruptive events in modern history. And during these times, disruptions to business and employees' lives, employers really had to address the effects of the unknown and known stressors. But to really define our path forward, these stressors must be addressed now and their impacts must be understood. So that's why I want to start today's talk with the theme of tomorrow's starts now. The actions we take today will really go a long way in ensuring that the employees, who really are the backbone of your organizations, are well suited and ready to come back. So in a world where change really has been the only constant, we must make sure that we're putting our most important assets, your people, first. And investing in people has many aspects to it. Because when people come to work, when you come to work, or maybe it's your kitchen table right now, you come as individuals. And people don't come to work in parts. They come with all those complexities of life. Gosh, how true that is today. My dog's barking right behind me right now. So the complexities are true. But what now? How can we effectively face that future with confidence? So Stephen Covey, acclaimed author, talent leadership coach, I'm sure you guys have heard of, challenges organizations leaders to begin with the end in mind. And to begin with the end in mind means to begin with a clear understanding of your destination. By knowing where you're going, you can kind of better understand with where you are right now, so that steps you take are in the right direction. And in this case, maybe it's a successful transition back to work, whatever that may look like. So of course we know COVID-19 has put an incredible amount of uncertainty into what the future may or may not look like. But at Gallagher, we like to run towards problems, not away from them. And it's actually one of our central tenets. And building people strategies today will really drive engagement and business growth for tomorrow. And this core model has not changed. It may be just the way we are delivering. So really, I'm going to touch on 4 points today. I'm going to talk a little bit about emotional well-being, some unforeseen consequences of quarantine, touch on resiliency, and then end, of course, with communication and leadership topics. It's important, again, to note that even before COVID-19 started, we were dealing with epidemic levels of stress and anxiety, right? And today, really, that fear of the unknown actually might be more significant on your employees' health than the threat of the disease itself. But this return to whatever work might look like is going to be a slow trickle. And I really think that the anticipatory anxiety for this is really going to be difficult on employees. And really all I mean by anticipatory anxiety is really referring to that fear or the dwell of the unknown. And if we know anything about COVID-19, it is we are completely packed full of unknowns, and especially regarding this return to work of whatever that may look like. And this is going to be difficult on employees, as it no doubt already has been. So when I talk about emotional well-being, it's really that ability to practice stress management techniques, be resilient, generate positive, productive feelings. When we shift occurs, though, anticipatory anxiety is this fear for an extended period of time that your employees may be imagining this future situation or perceiving. In times like this, anxiety may be stirred up and challenging these employees' ability to really engage in their emotional well-being. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is you can calm this anticipatory anxiety by opening up listening channels or formalize ways to hear your employees' concerns or questions. By centralizing information so that all messaging really remains constant throughout the organization, it really helps prevent misinformation. Also, there's a need to empower these frontline managers to really be part of this solution moving forward by providing consistent, empathetic messaging, right? So the employees have something really predictable and trustworthy that they can rely on. However, just remember, what works in good times also works in bad times. So leading with authenticity and bringing that whole self to work every day really enable others to bring their whole selves to work every day. And this will lead to really improved engagement in your organization, improved well-being, and performance during and long after the crisis passed. But as I mentioned above, this is going to be a slow trickle. This won't be like a light switch, and there are going to be many scars that are going to be made through this times. There are going to be many lingering problems that may arise long before, after, or even during transition. So I recently wrote an article being published in our Gallagher Better Works Insights report on the unforeseen consequences of quarantine. with my PhD being in pain and neuroscience and addiction, I took a deep dive into the consequences of these in quarantine. And really what it brings up is addiction and obesity becoming even more prevalent and important discussion points for you employers to consider. Some individuals in your organization may start struggling to maintain healthy habits, maybe yourselves as well, right? That previously just seemed so innate. Issues relating to addiction and weight management may surface or resurface as a consequence of the current situation. But we have to know that those suffering from addiction, whether it be opioids, alcohol, or hey, even sugar, right, will continue their behaviors despite these inherently negative consequences. But compounded with these feelings of isolation and that worry of the unknown, these addictions can really have an overwhelming effect on people's well-being. But you guys can help by communicating proper resources and ensuring your employees are not alone will go a long way. But I really want you to remember that these issues won't just go away when business returns. They actually could intensify. As loneliness fuels addiction, addiction can in turn fuel loneliness, which really engages a vicious cycle. And as we look forward, it is of utmost importance for organizations to stay connected with their employees and devise strategies to ensure that social connectedness, as these social interactions are extremely potent deterrents of addiction. Also important to remember are the connections between employee engagement, well-being, and resiliency. What is important at work and home has very significant impacts on the employee's overall life and well-being. But what is resiliency? It's quite a buzzword today. We're hearing it everywhere. And I won't go into much detail on building resiliency, but I want to arm you leaders with simplistic definition to really just help you discuss this important topic with your employees. So really, resiliency is the ability to withstand, recover, and grow in the face of stressors and changing demands. So think of it as this tree that's on the screen right now. Resiliency gives you the ability to have your roots firmly in the ground and be able to bend in the face of the storm. You might lose a couple leaves along the way, but you won't break, right? So these resilient employees make resilient organizations. And I think as leaders, we need to realize that their support systems that they had developed at work, their colleagues, friends, really fueled their productivity and energy. That's probably lost right now. So the social connectedness and interpersonal support is a powerful predictor of human resiliency. So I really urge you as HR professionals to, if there ever was a time to be promoting this resiliency or emotional well-being, it's now. But remember, as a leader, we really urge you to put your oxygen mask on first. You simply cannot help your workforce if you yourself are struggling. By recognizing that you cannot develop programs and processes to reduce these negative impacts and stress and promote individual and organizational resilience if you yourselves are not well in the first place. Which leads to my final topic on leadership and communications. The most resilient organizations are really characterized by strong leadership and their ability to change, their ability to adapt in changing environments. Much like we maybe remember our favorite teachers going through school with love and gratitude. Very well, the opposite could be completely true in a crisis like this and can cause lasting organizational effects. Through times like this is where brands really show what they're made of. And it starts with you as leaders being role models of this change. Focus on those most important assets, your people. Make sure your leadership is embodying the culture of the organization, that their messages really do match their behaviors. Because remember, culture is made up of what we can and cannot see. Leadership, messaging, and behavior will really set the tone for how cared for employees feel during this difficult period. And finally, most importantly, be compassionate and empathetic leaders. Expressing compassion and empathy are powerful tactics that increase positive emotions and create lasting, engaged, collaborative environments, especially through these circumstances today. Now, I ask you to pull out your phones. I know you're already searching me on LinkedIn, and scan this QR code here, because it's important to remember as we transition back to work, it may not be as smooth on employees as we think, and tomorrow does start now. But most importantly, we want to help you define your blueprint for tomorrow. So again, I ask you to scan, take out your phone, scan the barcode with your camera, browse the ample resources we have for you at Gallagher and our team, or connect with myself or Chris in our emails below. We just want to offer you an ear to listen and help you discover and design your blueprint for tomorrow. So again, thank you for having me. And I am going to turn it over to Katrina. So Katrina, again, this could be true or not. She is actually an original member of the Spice Girls, and this is quite impressive resume. She's actually the first female NBA player. So in light of these unbelievable resumes, I can't wait to hear more about it, Katrina.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everybody. I wasn't actually going to reveal that to the end of my talk, so it's a little bit of a spoiler alert.